Namaskar, I am Abhiranjan Burman, Assistant Professor of Political Science, Falakata College, West Bengal. My topic is Directive Principles of State Policy. The lecture is divided into three parts. First part deals with the general introduction about Directive Principles of State Policy, and second part, features of the Directive Principles of State Policy, and thirdly, a classification of the Directive Principles of State Policy. Firstly, I give you a general introduction about the Directive Principles of State Policy. The Directive Principles of State Policy are enumerated in Part 4 of the Indian Constitution from Article 36 to 51 deals with the Directive Principles of State Policy. The framers of the Constitution borrowed this idea from the Irish Constitution of 1937. Dr. Ambedkar described these policies as the noble features of the Indian Constitution. Directive principles, along with the fundamental rights, represent the philosophy of the Constitution and is the soul of the Constitution. Granville Austin, an eminent constitutional expert, described directive principles along with the fundamental rights, the conscience of the Constitution. Secondly, I give you some features of the Directive Principles of State Policy. Firstly, Directive Principle of State Policy denotes that the state should keep in mind while formulating policies and enacting laws. These are the constitutional recommendations or the constitutional instruction to the state in legislative, executive, and administrative matters. Directive principles constitute a very comprehensive economic and social and political program for a modern democratic state. They aim at realizing the high ideals of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity as outlined in the preamble of the Constitution. They embody the concept of welfare state, not that of police state, which existed during the colonial era. In brief, these principles seek to establish economic and social democracy in the country. The third features, the directive principles are non-justiciable in nature, that is, they are not legally enforceable by the courts for their violation. Therefore, the government cannot compel to implement them. According to Article 37 of the Constitution, says that these principles are fundamental in the governance of the country, and it shall be the duty of the state to apply these principles. Fourth feature, the directive principles, though not justiciable in nature, these principles help the courts examining and determining the constitutional validity of law. Now, I am discussing about the classification of the directive principles of state policy. The basis of their content and direction, these principles can be classified into three broad categories. Number one, socialistic principles. Number two, Gandhian principles. And number three, liberal intellectual principles. Number one, socialistic principles. There are many principles, many articles deals with the socialistic principles. Just for example, Article 38, to promote the welfare of the people by securing a social order permitted by justice, social, economic, and political, and to minimize inequalities in income, status, facilities, and opportunities. Another article, 39, to secure the rights to adequate means of livelihood for all citizens, the equitable distribution of material resources of the community for common good, prevention of concentration of wealth and means of production, opportunities for healthy development of the children. These principles are related with socialistic principles. Another article, Article 42, to make provisions for just and human conditions for work and maternity relief. All are included in the socialistic principles. Another important category is Gandhian principle. These principles are based on Gandhian ideology. They represent the program of reconstruction enumerated by Gandhi during the national movement. In order to fulfill dreams of Gandhi, some of his ideas were included as directive principles. Just for example, Article 40 included in the Gandhian principle. Article 40 says that to organize village panchayats and endow them with necessary powers and authority. Just for example, Article 43 to promote cottage industries on an individual cooperation basis in rural areas. Another article, Article 46, to promote the educational and economic interest of SCs and STs and other weaker sections of the society and to protect them from social injustice and exploitation. This also a Gandhian principle. Very important, Article 47. To prohibit the consumption of intoxicating drinks and drugs which are injurious to health. Another important article, it is also Gandhian principle, to prohibit slaughter of cows, calves and other milk and draught cattle and to improve their breeds. Another classification is liberal intellectual principles. I give you just examples. I referred some articles in this group. Article 44, to secure for all citizens a uniform civil code throughout the country. Article 44. Article 45, to prohibit early childhood care and education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years. Another very important, Article 48, protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forests and wildlife. Article 48. For time being, I concluded here. Namaste.